All right, here we go again. Another exciting episode of the Amatyma series where I get to have a frank and candid chat with all types of men, single, married, divorced, widowed. If we're outie, if we cheater, just want to talk to you, just want to have a conversation. Completely unscripted, no notes, as you can see. We literally make sure we don't have notes. I don't even have a laptop because I don't want people thinking maybe I'm peeping somewhere. It's really candid conversations, and I'm excited to talk to this brother of mine, a shapeshifter, a thought leader in his own right, a broadcaster. It's going to be quite interesting to talk to someone who does this daily. You know, he's always interviewing guests on his show. He's on radio, the biggest radio station in the country. And now it's my turn to flip the script on him and get to ask him a few questions. DJ Sabby is the brother that I need to talk to. Ukrenjayam?
Yeah.
How you doing?
It's always weird being this side, bro. As you're doing it, I'm like, Ish, is this my cue to jump in?
He's doing his link. And I mean, that was not a link. That's just to introduce you.
I'm good, dog. I'm good,
man.
Spirit.
Finally, we get to sit. I've been inviting you to a lot of these Amatyma events, but you are busy.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy is busy.
Ish, I'm fine. But do you know what? The last one, I was 5 to coming.
Yeah, I remember.
And then doesn't.
Yeah, it's live.
Yeah,
that's what happens when we daughter. You need to be able to adjust.
That's true.
Yeah. For those who don't know who DJ Sabby is, Uba no Pumava Utrowile Ningosi is Kipa now.
Real name Sabby. That's how I pay my taxes.
Yes, sir. Abamasu DJ Sabby.
Born and bred at KZN, Kulele Mandeni, matriculated estates, which is in Vryheid. So more than anything else, Baby's estates, very comprehensive.
How much about the states sing it? You're in the US, man, but you sing
no
Vryheid.
Yeah, so Baby's estate. So anyone who knows the Vryheid in KZN, Baby's estates is very comprehensive. Right. Then I came up to Johannesburg 2008, matriculated 2007 with the dream of doing this thing in radio. I have a kid. DJ Sabby is a stage name. I have a kid, Ori.
Boy, girl?
He's a boy. He's a boy. Probably one of the best things I've experienced here in Mhlabeni.
How old is he?
He's 7. 7 this year.
Seven
emoyeni.
Sure.
Married to the beautiful woman in my life, the most beautiful woman in the world, Lindelani Poppy Saramesh is now Mamjali. I'm a broadcaster more than anything else. I do TV, I do radio. I pretty much make everything, man. It's just I haven't figured out how to sell houses like TT or make medicine, but given a chance, as long as it's Nemali and it makes me happy, bro. Yeah.
Absolutely. So nice to meet you, Sabelo, Amatyma. You're a father to a 7-year-old. Is your dad still alive?
No. I lost my dad at the age of 10. Lost my mom. It's 4 years now. So singing done.
Sure. You don't have any siblings?
I have siblings. I have 2 brothers, 1 sister. So my mom and dad met. My mom had 2 kids. My dad had 1. So I'm the only child between them. Yeah.
Oh, between them. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier on, this platform is really about having frank conversations, and I'm very deliberate about not having a topic or a theme.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people coming in with preconceived thoughts about what they're gonna say. You know, when you go for an interview and they're like, "This is the theme. You must stick within the theme," and you overthink things when you come here.
That's
and
true.
this is not what it's about. This is really about us having a chat as men and really unpacking some of the issues that are bothering us. And whoever's watching this can also get to learn a thing or two around different men who are in different spaces. So we don't only just talk to men who are public figures, but we also speak to men who are not even known. But our problems are
alike, man.
Our problems are alike. And as a machita, whether you are married, single, divorced, or widowed, we all have some type of challenge that we need to overcome. But that said, the challenges of a married man are very different from the challenges of a single man because the dynamic is different. You have a lot to deal with when you're a married man, and I suppose even when you're single, you have a lot of different things to deal with. What kind of dad are you?
I'm a very present dad, because when I made a decision that I'm ready to place the order for Ori, I remember my wife was ready
to place the order that.
When I felt like I am ready now to place the order, my wife was ready. From the age of 25, it was one of those conversations where she was bringing up, but I just felt like I was just not ready, and it was a self thing. So age 27, I felt like I don't think there'll ever be a right time, and you always feel like that you don't have enough money.
Always trying to hustle for the next.
Always hustling
It'll never
for the
be
next.
enough.
I was like, no, man. And also, I've never wanted to become I wanted to do certain things in Donayami. And yeah, when we decided to place an order at the age of 27, I felt like
when you decided, because she's been driving the conversation.
Yes,
so when
yes.
you decided that you were ready.
Yeah.
But how was that? Because it's quite an interesting dynamic then to have your partner be the one who's upfront about it. Because in most cases, Amachita who are like, and the ladies are like, nah, I'm not ready. It was the other around with you.
It was the other way around. She was ready because she's 1 year old younger than me.
Right.
So when she was 25, the conversation started. I was like, you know what, give me 2-3 years, then we'll get back to it. So when I felt like, listen, babe, I think it's now time. I'm ready to do this whole child thing. We placed the order. We went to the Val.
this order business is really you're placing a chicken and chips order. Got a chicken and chips and some rolls and salad on the side.
No, we took a nice short left. I had a gig in the Val. I was like, let's make it just an amazing weekend. Left on a Friday.
Sure.
And it was truly amazing, because for me, I've always wanted to have a story, and I love sharing the story because in Donayam, I want him to know, Guti,
how he was ordered.
How you were conceived, how you were ordered. You were really ordered out of love.
Yeah.
There was proper planning for you. I really wanted you to have the best of everything. I felt like mentally I'm ready to accommodate you. I felt like now I'm ready to think about someone else outside of myself.
Right.
And I felt like I had the mental capacity to afford time to someone else outside of bookings, outside of work, where I can just be Nalomuntu who just wants me around him, and that's it.
You were intentional.
I was intentional.
And I love that because you are actually the first person I've had a conversation with who has been quite frank about how they planned to have a child and how there was a process. It wasn't a one-night stand. It wasn't one of those drunken nights with the wife where it was planned.
Yeah.
You said something very powerful. Ordered with love.
Yes. With love and intention. But also, like I grew up in a family where it's only when I grew older and I started engaging and visiting other people's houses that we were not fortunate. We were not rich. But utando ngiyalwazi. I know when someone is able to put you first and someone is able to look out for you because they genuinely care and love you and value you.
Sure.
I understand what it means to make a promise and deliver on it.
Sure.
I understand making a promise and not being able to deliver on it and apologize. And that is from my mom. My mom would always apologize if she says, Yazin, I'm going to buy you these All Stars on Friday.
Yeah.
But if she had not saved enough, or isn't I'm overtime, we're not able to clock in, she would apologize. And for me, that taught me that don't just make promises for the sake of making promises, because when you do not live up to those promises, it can break you.
Sure.
And then when you start experiencing promises being broken, when you have a father figure. I remember I had a stepfather in the early foundations of our relationship. So many promises were broken.
Sure.
And that kind of shaped me. Which the day I become a father,
you're not going to be that guy.
I'm not going to be that guy
with broken promises.
No.
It's such a big thing that we take for granted.
Yeah.
Broken promises.
Yes.
Kids will teach you a lot about promises. If you promise your child Gutis is where a McDonald's for ice cream, they will remind you.
Oh, they will.
Until you do it.
Yeah.
But the more you procrastinate, the more you break them without realizing that you're breaking them. And then you start becoming that guy. And the last thing you want is to be known as that father who just makes empty promises. We know it's not going to come. There's those days that are just like, I'm so busy. You are so busy. And I love what you said earlier on about the fact that you planned it. You were ready.
Yeah.
You were ready to give off of your time for this human being that you've just ordered. And I think that's a thing that we don't communicate enough as Amachita. There's this thing with Man Plomile as Amachita at a car wash, and you spend the afternoon together, shower 5 o'clock, and you like, gents, I'm gonna head off home now. There's this stigma with impempi khalile, urashele endlini, you're going to the prison order. There's this unsolicited pressure we put on each other as Amachita for wanting to go spend time with our families.
Yeah.
I've experienced it where you're at a party, you're at an event, and you're like, gents, it's time for me to go. It's early.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like that pressure that we put on each other as a machit?
For me, I've got to a point, maybe it's an age thing, bro. I've got to a point where I understand where my priorities lie and who comes first in my life.
Sure.
Small things like mina fanele ngivanyole. You know, it's 7. I got to make sure that I eat my wife's food. I got to make sure that I see my son go to bed.
Right.
I got to make sure that I am present for just that moment.
Yeah.
And I say that because kunezinto that we never got to experience. I remember Nkula, Ngbuyi generation, the Moroccans will be eating on the table.
Right.
They wake up in the morning, there's food everywhere on the table.
And it's all decked out.
It's all decked
and you're like,
out.
this is not real, by act.
By act.
Yeah.
Because Tina's Kules Boogie generations, everyone had a plate in their hands.
Right.
And siadla. And for Intwana Kulele Mjondolo, you eat and then you sleep. And ukulala kwakho lalala phansi.
Yeah, lapho bodlela khona.
Lapho ngidlela khona. So when I grew up, I was like, when I have kids, I want us to sit around the table. I want us to sit. I want us to talk about how was your day. I want us to unpack all of this and just reconnect and realign as a family, because that is the time where we generally get to be as umdeni. We get to reconnect. We get to unpack all the moments. What happened, son?
Yeah.
Oh, this is what happened. Then and the wife talks, and we all just get to come together as a family. The same with breakfast. Like, my family knows good on weekends. No, I've been kateleng anjani, bro. Like, I have to wake up. I wake up and make breakfast for them, because I just love that excitement when my son smells the eggs and I'm making bacon and he comes like, Dad, what are you making? And I tell him I'm making eggs, I'm making sausages.
Right.
Then he's going to ask me, can I make this like this for him? Because I want him to have memories that are totally different from mine. Like, I don't want Indona Yami to say something and it connects to my reality.
True.
Like, I don't want it to be similar in any way. Like, he is conceived and he is brought to this world by 2 people who made a decision to bring him here, and we will try our best to afford him the best life possible, but he should never take it for granted, because that's just another skill set I'll teach him with time, is that you must value everything you have and you work hard for it.
True.
You know, but that comes with time, you know. But for now,
man, you're just being a dad.
I'm just being a dad. I'm just being here for this guy. Buying him small things that I know that will mean a lot for him. TV games. We got these things second hand. Makayo Star because mom couldn't buy All Stars. It's small things. I mean, my wife doesn't have to tell me which winter's coming. Now you need to go buy him winter clothes.
Yeah.
You know, dingy jacket.
Yeah.
So you don't need dingy jacket.
You know. We want when Amar was got to jacket.
Small thing. Like Intwana was saying the other day, Dad, I think I have enough shoes. I'm like, I think I have more shoes. So if I have more shoes, you must also have more shoes. It's small things
balance
like that.
The equation.
Yeah, balance the equation.
Yeah,
you know, like I just want him to have things. And for as long as my center is taken care of, then Amatyma will wait for me. They will catch me on a podcast. You know, family comes first.
I love that. And I think if we had to be honest with each other as Amatyma, we would progress even further.
Yes.
Because this whole mindset, Yuguti, Sizo this mob psychology with marantwana man, 1 more hour, man. And I always say, but that 1 more hour is 1 more hour that I want to spend with my family.
Yes.
I want to, not I'm forced to. I'm intentional. So for example, I get a lot of people saying, you know, what does it feel like to drop off the kids in the morning at school?
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't feel like anything, because it's part of what I want to do.
Yes.
I can afford to give them transport that can pick them up, but I want to connect with them at that level.
Yeah.
I want to be able to find out what's going on with them outside the home environment as well. Because at home, yes, we have our dinners, we have our breakfast where we talk as a family. But I also want to have a different relationship with my daughters outside the family circle, outside the wife, outside the even with the 2 girls. I have moments with them separately, because I understand that my relationship with each is different, and it's unique in its own way. And trust me, bro, those drive. You know, when you go to school, we actually listen to your show. And the music, we pump the music and we have conversations, and it's an opportunity for me to catch up.
Yes.
So what's happening in their lives? Who's bullying them? What kind of conversations do you have with your son?
We're still at a point where we're trying to keep one conversation going, because one thing is Kulmange Mustang.
Yeah.
Next thing, it's a Porsche. Then it moves to John Cena hosting the Nickelodeon Awards.
Right.
Then it moves to why was I being nice to that kid on the radio and I'm not nice to him.
Wow. So he listens to your show?
Yeah. So this was a recent thing, and it hit me. And I remember telling my producers, like, you know, you go through a moment where when you're still courting your girlfriend, she listens to the radio, she's like,
Yeah.
you're very nice to these girls. Why are you calling them boo? Why are you calling them babe?
Yeah.
And it takes a while before we understand what you're doing.
Tool of trade.
But now when your kid starts feeling that little jealous moment,
Yeah.
and now you have to reassure him that I'm your dad.
Yeah. I'm going nowhere.
I'm going nowhere. But to these kids also, I value them. So I'm Uncle Sabby to them, and Uncle Sabby needs to, account to a certain level and deliver to a certain level
Sure.
because I've built a reputation with them. But now he's slowly getting it. But it was a learning moment for me to understand, wow.
Yeah.
It's good to know that he's jealous. Seeing my son jealous,
Absolutely.
for me was exciting. I was like, oh, he loves me.
Yeah.
But it just reassuring him that don't take it personally. Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
I'll never leave you. I'll never choose any other kid outside of you. You are number one, number two, number three.
You are the chosen one. We ordered you.
And you're the only one right now, so why are you stressed?
And we ordered you. Like,
Yeah.
You know the reason I'm asking that is because, it's how you respond to him.
Yes.
Because you could have easily said, man, leave it.
Yeah.
Thina sikhule basitshaja, we are papa manje.
Buthetha.
We are papa.
Yes.
Yini into ibuzayo.
Yeah.
We never had those close relationships with our parents because also there was that fear.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be told to go outside. We're having a relationship with our kids now.
Yes.
Our kids are vocal. They've got opinions.
Yes.
They're human.
Yeah.
And I think I like the way most dads are starting to, acclimatize to this new reality that you have to have a relationship with your kids. This thing of just being a support, financial support to your kids. You're so busy, always in board meetings, always traveling. You don't even see the growth process of your kids because you're so busy hustling for them, right? Because we all say that, but I'm doing it for you. But what's the point of doing it for me if it's going to burn you out?
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that because Izolo, funny enough, we're having dinner with the family. It was actually on Saturday.
Yeah.
He had just experienced his first soccer tournament. I'm so proud of him.
Right.
But he did something that I told him not to do. I saw him sipping on Prime.
Right.
Ne? And I told him, Mina, for as long as Prime came out, I was like, listen, I don't have any issues with Prime, but you are still young for Prime.
100%.
And at a later stage, I'll let you taste it, but just don't do it. And I saw him drinking it from a friend of his. And I was a little bit touched because now he's not listening to my rules.
Right.
So we're sitting, we're eating on the table, and I tell his mom, I'm just going to bring this up.
Right. Oh, so you didn't address it?
No, I didn't address it.
You just kept your cool.
Yes, I kept my cool. We kept it moving because it's his moment. I just played my first tournament. I scored a goal. I missed a goal, my first tackle. Yeah. So many highs. Yeah. Now I don't want to be that
one low.
That one
just
low.
Ruin his day.
Exactly. The whole thing. Then we're sitting on the table. I'm like to him, bro, but what you did I didn't like. He's like, what did I do, Dad? I'm like, I saw you drinking Prime. Then he had a moment and, he looked down.
Caught out.
It's like, yeah, and then he was like, I'm sorry, Dad. He tried to explain that was Prime for kids. I was like, that is not the problem. The problem is that me and you had made a promise. We have an agreement.
Right.
The same way I now allow you to have energy at 0 is because I was waiting for you to get to a point where I feel like you can handle this energy.
Right.
And then we had a conversation, and it was truly a back and forth. And I told him the reason why I don't want you to do these things is because I feel like you are not old enough for it. I'm not holding you back from anything. I just want you to understand
there's a process
in life. There's certain things that really come with age. And also, I don't want you to drink anything you get from anyone.
True.
Because if something happens to you and you're allergic to it, I now need to take you to a doctor, and I do not want you being sick because when you're sick, I'm not happy.
True.
My whole day is ruined. I can't focus at work. And he understood.
Wow.
And then his mom is like, you know what just happened right now? It's when you have a conversation. It's gentle parenting. Gentle parenting. And when you reflect, you're like, that conversation could have really made his entire day terrible.
Could have gone south.
It could have gone south.
For everybody.
Yeah,
because now your wife has to deal with the tension between you and your son.
Exactly.
Because your son is now sulking because daddy didn't speak to him in a respectful manner.
Yes.
And I think that's the one thing we miss as parents. We think because we're parents, we have a right to shout and to say it the way we think we should.
Yeah.
And forget that on the other side is another human being who happens to be your son, your daughter.
Wow, man. So it was an amazing moment. It was also a moment to learn because Tina's coolest titties was shower. We had no room to table our opinions and just share why we did what we did. And we just had to keep it moving. So to hear him out and just to hear him apologize really made me understand what we're raising
and it humanizes him.
Boys here. Yeah,
He's a human being.
he's a human being,
And
he's
just
young.
like
He's
you.
only 7.
He's 7, and
He's
you're
only
already
7.
having those conversations.
Yeah, he's 7, and I'm not going to lie. I'm raising a gentleman, TT. Like
Right.
I'm always praying in my prayers to say, God, thank you for blessing me with this man as the man I'm going to raise, because so far he's just so sober-minded, and all the challenges that will come along his journey, and with this passage of time, I'll be here to hold his hand, and I'm just proud of him.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm proud of just listening to how you are doing it your way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the trick, is to do it your way. Take a bit from what our parents taught us. I mean, I look at how I'm raising my daughters, and comparing it to the way our parents raised us. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's different challenges that we're faced with. But the one thing that's most important is that line of communication. It's always there. Your son knows that he's got a friend in you, not
Yes.
just a dad.
Yes.
Unempintsha, uneskim sakhe,
Yeah.
and he'll grow with that as he gets older. What is the one thing that you wish for your son outside the material world? Outside the qualifications. I know we all want our kids to have degrees, get a good job, or run a great business. But as a father, what is the one thing that you really wish that your son can carry on even when you're gone?
I think it's more believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Because for some of us, we had to understand ukuthi we are not fortunate enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So when we meet people who are privileged, it's easy for you to see yourself as not great enough. And
Sure.
you had to learn and unlearn to know that I'm worthy of it all. It's just
Absolutely.
like where I come from is not my end all and be all. Like I will be the rose that came out of a place where you thought roses wouldn't come off.
Yeah.
So what I wish for him is to just never doubt his greatness. Whenever he faces the world with his true self.
Yeah.
There should never be a sense of doubt on himself or on what he can bring to the table.
Yeah.
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 My biggest fear is just my son never believing in himself and never becoming his true self and fulfilling his true purpose in this world.
Sure.
Whatever that true purpose will be, I just hope he will never have a sense of doubt, because I think his starting point will be different to my starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. His starting point will be different from yours.
To be totally different.
Completely.
Man.
What's your take on depression amongst Tina Amachita? Ngifuna siringe depression
Sure,
actually,
man.
because Lena it manifests itself in
Yeah.
different forms and shapes. Guys are going through a lot
Yo, bro.
out there. There's a lot on the shoulder of the man. He's expected, and I use the word expected deliberately, because there's an expectation for us to provide. There's an expectation for us to protect, and there's an expectation for us to love.
Hey, T.
But who's giving us that love? Yes, the protection I get. We were born to be strong and whatnot, but we forget that we are human beings. Sabelo is going through something. He comes to TT to confide in him. TT goes and tells another friend of ours who's a mutual friend. Then Sabelo hears exactly what he said to TT verbatim from my mutual friend. Trust is broken.
Yeah. I think the conversation of depression is long because there's so many dudes esihlala so.
Yeah.
Sikhulume ngedepression, good dog, this is what we need to do. Mara ntangangena emotweni and you just feel like driving off a hill.
Yeah.
Like maningi amajita enginokuzwa ukuthi besihleli sidla inyama, next thing untanga wafika endlini wasidubula.
Yeah. And they be happy that
Beka
day.
happy, dog.
Happy. He had just gotten a nice deal.
Yeah.
Beka grand,
Mega grand, dog. And then you realize with this thing is a silent monster.
Yeah.
And I've just really come to realize that it's all in your environment, man. Like, there's no time now, bro. I believe we should be spending time or any of our free time with people that are not going to help us grow in any way, because nothing grows from a bad environment, bro.
Absolutely.
So I feel like as a machita, we need to really choose when people that we call our friends.
Sure.
If mina ngizokutshela njenge-out yakho ngithi hey T-Dog, fanele ngikuso.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot for me out to
even open up.
To open up
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Fanele ngiyavuka ekseni acting like ngiyespanini mara ngixoshiwe boy.
And ngisabukutshela ifro. Because ngiyazi ukuthi uzongichika.
Uyabona? Ngiyasaba nokuza kuwe ngithi boy anginemali yebond this month mfana. Cela ungivuze. Yabo. To take that low and publicize it or remind a man of how he's not worthy at that moment can really just disarm him, and he might feel like, let me just jump off this cliff and and at that moment you forgot that sees you as a hero. And
an uncle, by the way.
There's an uncle. Yeah. There's a whole entire structure that truly sees you as they everything outside of what you bring to the table.
Sure.
And sometimes we forget that. We forget that because as Amachita, we always feel like when we leave the house, we need to go make money. Yeah. Sometimes mfana mina nokuhlala yazintwana yami ilalelana unkosikazi alalelana dog at that moment mfana ngikhohlwa nokuthi kune debit order, because at 5 minutes I am at peace, bro.
It's priceless.
And that's why I feel home should be that, a place of peace for any man. It's my sanctuary. Like my wife always says it in passing, which I don't want you to be worried about this. It doesn't apparently when you hear, I want you to forget about Sabby problems. Like,
be in the moment.
Just be here.
Be in the moment.
You know, and every now and then she will ask, yo, get off your phone, just chill. And I'm learning, I'm learning to be in that moment. And to all the dudes, man, I still say choose people that do not take a whole lot of energy from you. Like, chill namachita, that when you're there, you always feel like you are charging.
Yeah.
Ne?
Yeah.
And you don't feel like you are charging people.
Jalo and we power bank.
We power bank.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. But,
there's nothing wrong.
But you're also human.
Pour on yourself.
Yeah.
Fill your own cup, because when you fill your own cup, then it overflows and it fills other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dog.
Yeah.
Take yourself for that manicure. Boy, faki kologni, mfana ube mnandi,
nice.
Boy, mahole hambus keep, boy, usually at a place which makes you happy. Boy, go buy those sneakers. Boy, go do certain things for yourself, because we forget to love ourselves.
And we expect people to love us. But you can't even give yourself that same love that you expect.
What they'll need to do, but Sab will always take care of himself. It's good for me.
It starts there. It's part of grooming. You look after your skin, look after your beard, look after your nails. Guys don't do puff. I do puff and shine once a week.
It's important.
Once a week. You know why I do that? Yeah. Because I love myself.
It's time, the dog.
The next thing, exactly. It starts with you.
As time, the dog. It's easier to approach certain things when you love yourself, because you understand. You keep that consistent channel. Sometimes I'm actually keep it, boy. One.
Yeah.
One man. And then upume and do whatever you need to do. But don't ask because if you forget yourself, someone is going to start telling you about yourself, and it won't be the truth. It's just their understanding of who you are based on what they see every single day and what you're posting online. And opinions will always be there, man.
You can't change people's opinions about you, and they can say all they want, but it doesn't change the fact that exactly.
That's why now more posts and suit lena. That is inspiring to Amachita buyer, because there's some dudes, bro, they wear the bestest of suits, but still they don't see themselves the way
they're not
happy
inside.
They're not happy, bro.
Yeah, they're not happy inside. Yeah. Happiness is an inside job,
That's true.
It starts with you, and the world will feel it.
That's
when
true.
You walk into a room, people will know that man is, and I commend you for that, bro. I listen to your show every day.
Thank you.
By choice, by the way.
Thank you.
We spoil for choice in this day and age. You choose to listen to people that inspire you.
Yeah.
You choose to consume content that inspires you.
Sorry.
Me. And for me, that's what it's about. So when I brought you to the show, I really wanted to unpack those nuggets. And you've shared so much that I'm going to reflect when I watch this as well and go, we learn every day.
Yeah, bro.
Every day is an opportunity just to do better.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you want to say to a guy? He's got kids. It's just too busy. It's just too busy.
Jayam, the truth is, sorry, dog. Sorry, man. The truth is, in 17, they'll replace you the day they find out you're dead.
Sure.
That's the truth. But, endlini boy, bazokhala every single day. Bazokhala for years.
Yeah.
Madam 17 boy ngitshela manje.
They'll advertise next week. Position yakho.
Mfana, upora Monday, Friday ne replacement. Probably lo muntu uzohola more than you.
Yeah.
By next week,
pelile ngawo. And you are burning yourself out.
Mara abantu laba bakuthanda kakhulu, the people that would trade the sunlight to their dark days for you and live in the cold forever just to hug you and see you and be with you. Those people would do that.
Sure.
So that's what I'll say. Njayami, like, I understand Gutimali is everything, but trust me, that 1 hour a day. Yes, I was watching this video and this guy says, to be great at something, you just need to commit and be consistent for 18 minutes a day.
That's it.
That's it.
That
18 minutes.
That is it.
That's it. So when I'm for 18 minutes, spend 18 minutes with your wife. You are really just solidifying your relationship with your family. You're giving more time than anyone else.
And consistently. Because you spend more time on social media anyway. You're sitting on social media anyway. Watching other people live their lives anyway.
So 18 minutes was in good. Hey, how's life? How are you? How's school? Or in Yadlali Pola for 18 minutes. Hey babe, how are you?
Nikosiphe amakhapula ahleba abekho abantu abahleba njengamakhapuli
hey masisilele empletini
pillow talk
uthi mawufika uthi baby
hey usabelo babe I can't be, you won't believe this, and you even say to your wife, babe, this stays between us.
Yeah,
dude, come on. Like, whenever ever unjani? No babe, this is top secret.
Akubuza, do you want what you want? Coffee, tea? Mani bambi baby bam. And you'll be surprised. Yazi mina bengitshela namanye amajida ngithi yazi umuntu wakho ujola naye maybe na 20 or 25 niyahlangana ne. Yazi you'll be surprised ukuthi umbali bewuthanda 5 years ago is not her favorite color anymore.
Absolutely.
It's very important ukuthi ushayela uma check in. Nje babe usathanda
in.
Yeah? People sayithanda yeah? In 18 minutes.
Check
in.
I'm gonna make sure that a lot of guys actually listen to that part of the importance of time. My parting shot, or your parting shot rather, before I let you go, what is the one thing that you would love to say to your dad now that he's late?
Yeah.
That you never had an opportunity to say whilst he was still alive? If you had to walk into this room now and say, Donam, I'm here for 5 minutes. Ufuna 10.
Yes, it's so crazy because when I was 7, I remember 7, 8 vividly.
Yeah.
Minitamalam would always tell me, good, one thing's over. One day I'm going to leave you. And I don't want you to feel like you never had a father figure in your life. And at that age, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I remember on Drum Magazine, I used to be a big fan of reading interviews. And there was always this one question, when was the first time you cried like an adult? And for me, it's the day my dad died.
Sure.
But I think if my dad had to walk into this room right now, I don't think I'd have words. I would just hold him because I don't think I did that enough because he was just never around.
Sure.
You know, drop off what he needs to drop off. Then he would leave Ayagwame, which was like a tavern.
Yeah.
And I think that was his place of just, it was his escape from everything. Yeah. He would come home, but he was never a violent man. He would come home drunk and sleep, wake up in the morning, go out and do whatever he had to do, and then go to work on a Sunday. So I don't think I'd have words, bro. I mean, I just think I'll just hug him. I'll just embrace him. I think I'll just look at him. I think I would just be with this man and just taking the scent and just taking all the things that I never got to take in from him, and that's his presence. And maybe that's why I try to afford my sons more and more of my time. It's because I never had time with my dad. So I want my son to when he walks into a mosque, like, that smells like my dad. I want him to, when he gets into the car and someone is driving, like, you turn like you turn the wheel like my dad.
Like my papa.
You know, like, all those things, that reminds me of Sab, because there's just so much time we spend together that you remember me.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just hold him, man. I'd hold him and just ask God for the next second and the next minute and the next and the next and the next, because I never had it. Even when I went to go see him in hospital, I had a message that I had written in my hand. I remember this day like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And bengihamba no auntie, and no auntie was feeding him dog. He loved amasi with brown bread. And I'd written this thing in my hand, and no auntie was like, show Baba got a message you had written in your hand. And because I'd never seen him in that state, I just couldn't. I just held it to myself. And I probably would have showed him that message, you know. And that message was just like, I love you, Baba. And I hope you heal, you know. But yeah, that's probably what I'd tell him. I'd just hold him, bro. I wouldn't say anything. I think I'll whip. I'd cry my tears out. Because I just want to hold him.
I've got nothing but love and respect for you, my brother.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming through. And you're going to come back. There's so much to talk about.
There's so much, ne?
We couldn't
need to go pick up my son now.
Let's go pick up the son. One love, my brother. Respect.
Thank you so much, man.
Ladies and gents, DJ Sabby Usabelo, another great episode of Amatyma series in partnership with Bogart Radio. Sibonge sivale sithi tango.